Hi, it's Ruben,
Hey, it's Rachel.
and this is a
I just zoomed
special
in.
Halloween edition of the Domestic Vibrance Podcast. All right. Do you know what we want to talk about?
Nah, you can start off.
Oh, I'm kicking it off. All
Yeah.
right. So, I was writing the other day about control and how I try to control everything around me because, well, at the time I didn't know why. It was just popping up, and I was just like nitpicking everything around me, the people, like you, the kids, just at work. It was just like I was getting real nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to figure that out. So I wrote, like, I journaled down and I just asked myself questions. I was just like, okay, why the need for control? Figured out, I was just like, oh, it's because I'm avoiding this, which is the actual work, like the actual work to figure out why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was. That's why I was in control, is because I was avoiding the work. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense to anybody else, it's basically like I get to a certain place, right? Like in life. And if I'm like, and things start to bother me, I was tired and I was not happy with like what I was seeing, like results. And it's like, I was like, oh, okay, if they fix this and they fix that and this person fixes this, then it'll make me feel better. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, then I can finally like, oh, okay. Cause it's everybody else. It's not me. And I know that. And I've been knowing that,
Mm-hmm.
but that shit just keeps popping up in different ways, and it's like disguised and shit, as like, oh, I'm just being a parent, or I'm just being a supervisor, or I'm just being your partner, like the man of the house. And it's disguised as like, oh, I need to do this, and in reality I was just like, oh no, I got to change my approach. I got to change what's going on in here, address these things, and either those things won't bother me, or I can approach them differently and better. I went for like a week straight of just being annoying. Just being annoying, more annoying than a freaking full grown man in a hot Cheeto costume. Look at, I can't even keep this thing on straight. All right, we're good. I look crazy. I look
You're a hot
crazy. I feel
Cheeto.
great though.
You're a hot
I'm a
Cheeto.
hot fucking Cheeto. You damn right. All right. Started like exploring that. I was like, oh shit. A lot of this shit's about control and how to balance it. Do you get that? Like, do you know what I mean by that?
Mhm.
Like the control. How does that show up for you? Does that show up for you in like certain ways?
Um, Hold on. Let me think real quick.
While you think, we're gonna pause for a ad right now. Nah, we ain't got no ads except for Cheetos, maybe. Let's get it.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's just us.
No, no, no. To me, I see that all the time at work. That's where I see it the most, is
It
people trying to like control the outside and what other people do,
Yeah, it seems easier.
and
Like if
make everything just right.
everybody just you do that, and then that makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's real narcissist.
Yeah, I know. No, it is. It really is. I think it's like a balance, right? Because you have to have self-control. Equate it to like a flame, right? Ooh, perfect. Perfect example. So like a flame can cook for your family, it can keep you warm. Um, it can also burn you, if not controlled. It can also burn a house down. And I believe that, the control thing is similar in a way that if you allow it to, it can cause disruption and ruin things, right? Destroy relationships, but it can also help you become a different person, a better person. I believe that if you practice self control, that you'll make better decisions. You won't give in to certain, vices or weaknesses, and or to bad habits or bad communication, right? Which is like anger, yelling, and stuff like that. If you practice self control, believe you become more empathetic to other people, and understand that, oh, I'm just like them, they're like me, and there's no need to point fingers and judge and like go after people,
Are you practicing self control?
like right now,
Yeah.
like at this moment.
No, just in general.
Oh, in general, yeah, absolutely. I'm not shooting 100%,
Mm-hmm.
I have some flare ups. I believe that that's what this whole thing is for me, is like, it's a test in self control. And I
Mm-hmm.
have certain goals and certain decisions that I have made before, or ways of living, and or just a lifestyle. Uh, it didn't match up to who I am and who I'm becoming.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely practice self control, because my ego wants to pop up and complain and get angry and feel entitled for things, and wants to, like, wants praise, to be like, look how much you did. You know what I mean? You deserve a rest. You deserve a break. You deserve, you know, people to behave, or like kids and stuff. Like, you deserve that, and it's just ego, and it's all bullshit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I believe I practice self control like daily. What about you? You practicing?
Nah. I'm just kidding. I try.
I mean, you really have to look at yourself every day, right? And I went 30 something years not wanting to look at myself and my behavior and, like, just choices and things like that, Everybody else was the problem. I wasn't the problem.
I don't know if that's considered self control. Like certain situations or things that happen, I try to handle it differently. So I don't know if that's part of self control or not. But if that is, then yeah, I do that.
Absolutely is. When you change your program, okay, so if things are normally I keep going to anger. Let's just say things normally upset me,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a program that has me respond in a certain way, that I am aware of the situation, of what's triggering me, the anger that I'm feeling and whatnot, and I
Uh-huh.
choose to handle it differently. Absolutely, that's huge. That's a big one, and that happens daily, multiple times a day. Just try to do better next
I
time.
don't
That's
know.
that's all
It's
you can
like
do.
going into the store and tripping over the same fucking crack
Yeah,
in the.
I wrote something downstairs on our board, near the kitchen. We have the whiteboard. Yeah, buddy.
What does that
I
even
don't know, but I'm
mean?
in. He liked it. He liked whatever. He liked what it was hearing. On the whiteboard is, well, I wrote like 5 things for life, like
Mhm.
what it is. Um, and it was sparked because one of the kids wrote a quote on there, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was just it was an 11-year-old's understanding, right? And I just elaborated on it. And life lessons will continuously repeat themselves until they're learned, right?
Mhm.
And that, I mean, it's just is what it is, right? We know that lessons continuously repeat themselves, and the only way to have them not repeat themselves is to give it a different response. You have to respond differently, right? If I'm just like short fused and irritated
Mhm.
by certain things, it's those certain things are going to continuously come up daily. Like, they don't stop until I address it differently. And then
Yeah.
now all of a sudden the problem goes away, but it was never a problem. It was just my consciousness, who I am, my program. It invited that, because I'm aware of it, and I constantly see it. I constantly see it, and I'm triggered, and I'm ready for it to for it to happen, and for me to respond to it. Whereas if I respond differently, that no longer bothers me, and that problem seems to go away. It never really does. The people are still there. They still do the same things. I just don't see it as a problem anymore, because I switched my perspective.
Mhm. That's hard to do.
It's fucking hard. It's so difficult. And it's so easy to go, you made me do this. Well, yeah, I did it because you did this. It's like, it's so difficult, but you have to get to the place where let people be wrong. So if somebody wrongs you, somebody does something to provoke a response from you, right? And you give it that response, and you act in a way, let's just say you cuss somebody out, or you yell, or you overreact, or whatever. Now you're just as wrong.
Oh.
Let people be wrong. It's so fucking hard, though. If you allow people to just be wrong, you hold that shit. Let it pass through you, because you're not anger, right? It's not like an identity. Hey, I'm Ruben. I'm angry. It's not an identity. It's not who I am. It's just a pre-programmed response that I give to shit, and I don't need to do that at all. There's no need for that.
My ego comes out a lot with that.
Yeah, no.
Huh?
What?
Oh, you couldn't hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, why'd you say it?
I said, yeah, no.
Oh, I'm trying to get rid of that person. I don't even know what it is.
It's
Just
gonna stay, by the way. That thing will always be there, but you just got to make it a part of you.
the old one.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yours was a guy?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Why do you think I had so much masculine energy?
I don't know. What are you talking about? What's
old person or whatever likes justice?
Yeah.
Did you say to me?
Yeah.
Because I remember this, and this, and this.
Oh, yeah, you keep those tallies. We all do that, I think. Like,
It's not a tally. Not like in the forefront of my mind where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use that later or anything like that.
it just gets stored away and
It just gets stored away like subconsciously or maybe I just did that when I was young growing up or something. Like I'm just like, oh, I have to defend myself, so maybe I should just store this.
oh, there you go.
And then yeah.
Have you thought about that?
Nah.
Of like where it comes from? I mean, it's a good start.
Usually when I'm talking, it just all comes.
Oh, so by the way, that reminds me. So that control thing, right, where you give those program responses. Okay, that reminded me of something of how we're. I mean, I don't want manifestations like this buzzword, right? Where like all of a sudden everybody's using it. You know,
Yeah.
it's all over the place, and now everyone's just like, oh yeah, like I made that happen. It's like, oh no, I manifested that. I manifested this. I manifested. Reminded me of something that where people think that like, oh, if I just say this thing like 3 times, 6 times, and 9 times, I meditate and I think about it. I make a vision board and I create this thing, of these goals that I have and these material things that I want, or this vacation I want to go on, or this job I want to get, or profession I want to be in. People think that's, just manifesting. Right? What I believe is missed is that we are constantly manifesting, whether we want to or not. Bottom line, we literally create all of this. Okay, so when those like where we were talking about earlier, where the situations continuously come up, those problems, those challenges that we get, those are literally manifestations that we're creating through our thoughts, what we feel, and how we act. So if I'm constantly in this angry state, right, I'm going to have conflict with people. Bottom line, I'm looking for it. Okay, so everything I'm going to be defensive. If I'm defensive, I'm going to be, in a conflict, right?
Yeah.
Automatically, it takes something said into a heated discussion and maybe turn into an argument or all on fight. So I'm constantly manifesting, whether we want to or not. That's why it's so important. That's why people talk about raise your vibration, right? Meditate, clear your mind, clear your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're not your idea. You're not your fucking ego. It's like, really, who are you, right? Because whoever it is in there is, if you don't like where you're at in life, if you don't like the relationships that you have with your close friends or your loved ones, your family, whoever, if you are finding challenges and everything like that, remember, you are manifesting that shit. If I'm quick triggered, I'm going to get in an argument with everybody, or everybody's going to stay away from me. I'm manifesting that, right? I'm manifesting either pushing everybody away because I'm defensive and I'm protecting something. So
that reminds me.
Let me hear it.
Sorry, I had wrote it about even relationships. Remember I told you some of my girlfriend, basically they keep ending up in the same situations.
Oh, same relationships?
Yeah, like with the same type of dude. And then like when I had wrote down the thing about a mirror, and then like if your emotions aren't good inside, they need those emotions, remember, need a partner.
Oh, I like that. Yep.
And if your mindset needs a partner, so it matches that, and then that's who. So you somehow have that in you, that you're creating that and ending up with the same type of partner over and over and over.
Well, the reason why that happens is because that partner is showing you yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So you're seeing things. So look at, if you end up with a partner that's going to be doing that. I'm sorry, not going to be doing. If you're ending up with a partner that you find yourself it's like Groundhog Day. You're just experiencing the same relationship over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
No, literally, it's you, right? So those people are there to show you you. And what happens is they get past the honeymoon stage, and when you start learning like who's who in this, right? Like, oh wait, you come with this, you come with that. Oh, you start knowing people on a deeper level. Yeah, shit's not always pretty, you know. And people go like, "Ooh, I got the ick. I'm out."
Oh
Right?
yeah.
I got the ick, or like, "Oh, he gave me the ick," or she did, or like, "Oh, she's this or that." And it's like, no, 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 no. That's you. It's fucking you. And the reason why it's giving you the ick or whatever is because of the fact that it's bringing up something in you that you got to address. You got to address it. And you're going to continuously meet yourself through the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into. But you're going to continue to meet yourself until you're ready to really deal with yourself. You're going to keep running. That's why people are out here microdosing relationships, those cuffing seasons, right?
Yeah.
And oh, okay, and then it's like, oh no, hot girl summer, whatever, right? It's like all micro doses of relationships. Why? Because as soon as it gets too heavy, as soon as it gets too real, I'm out, right? It's like, nah, take a fucking heroic dose, meet God, who's yourself, that I'm just an expression of God. We all are. And you're going to realize how big you are, how amazing that is. And at the same time, how tiny you are as well. And it's this weird paradox that you experience. But
It's really cool though, once you get past that, understanding that it's your fault, seeing people just outside for like what it is, kind of like I feel bad that
Well,
do that, like microdosing, dating or
yeah,
relationships, and it's sad.
because maybe they're unaware or they're just avoiding things, right? Because it's sad because we've been there and we can be empathetic to that type of shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's super hippie, but we're all one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We really are. We always say this, like, I can see myself in a homeless person. I can see myself in a celebrity or a freaking doctor. You hear these stories, I read about this stuff, and I'm just like, you get it, you know? I can't judge it. I feel like I'm in a place where I can't judge anybody or anything. We're all just having our own experience here.
I wonder if that's judging. If I feel bad.
It depends. That's going to be up to you. Like, what energy are you coming from? Are you coming from like, oh, pity, like, oh, I feel bad for you, like I've never been there, but that must suck? Or are you coming from like, I feel bad because I know what that's like, and I wish you would just wake up from that? I don't think you're coming from the first place. We end up going like, hey, this is good or this is bad. This person's good or this person's bad. No, this person's an entirely incredible, complex thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no idea, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any idea exactly what they've been through. And so I just like, I'm in a position now where I look at people and I just go, oh, wonder what's there. It's neutral. I don't place them as good or bad. I'm just like, man, they're them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want that done to me.
Well, speaking of that, we were also talking about, oh, people try to keep us in the same spot.
Oh, yeah, like freeze you in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I used to drink, right?
Uh-huh.
And I started drinking like heavily. It caused problems in my life. There's people in my life that I'm sure are going to freeze me right there. That's what they know me as, and that's where they keep me at. Even though I've grown out of that. I've realized I was just like, oh, I don't even have a drinking problem. I got a me problem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working on the me problem and why I'm do the things that I do and all that. And drinking's not even a thought. I don't even need to practice self-control when it comes to drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm just good. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had enough. Okay, I know why I was using it. I don't need to use it anymore.
Literally, that's how it was.
Yeah. There was no need to be like, oh man, I really want to drink, or like, oh, we can't go to places where they might have a bar or something like that. Like, no, I've been around people drinking. I'm good on it. I'm fine. But yes, we talked about it where I was just like, oh, some people are gonna freeze me right there. So even doing this, right? Like doing a podcast, speaking a little bit differently. Maybe I'm having different conversations now. I'm choosing to talk about different things now than maybe I would have before. So they might not even recognize me because they froze me in time right there where they remember me at. But that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think we do that
Mm-hmm.
like as well, you know? I see myself doing that. I know many The only reason why I know that's being done to me is because I was doing that. You judging people like that? Like where you freeze people?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like I was saying, you do the same cycle over and over and over.
Yeah.
So it's always been that result or that outcome. I feel like I freeze them there or certain people because it's like, I already know what you're going to say. I already know, I already know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to give you the chance to change that answer, but I'm like 80% sure I know the reaction that's going to happen. So why let myself down when,
Oh.
when
Oh, okay. I got you. So you're getting ahead of it to protect yourself.
probably.
Fuck, dude, I do that too. Allowing the other people to grow or be adaptable or do something different. You know what I mean? Surprise you, shock you. We saw that on the show last night. Remember
What show?
that show, The Bear? When the mom,
Oh
I did it.
yeah.
I did it to her in the show. I was
Oh
just like,
yeah, you
oh yeah, she's
did.
just gonna let her down. She didn't really call the husband because the daughter was pregnant and they had a
Mhm.
whatever relationship. Unless you've seen it, you know, what I mean, I'm not gonna try to explain it, but yeah, I did that to Jamie Lee Curtis, the mom.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no, she's gonna let her down again, and this, and that's what they're setting it up for. I did it to a fictional character, so I definitely do that to people in real life. You know?
Mhm.
Hold on,
A child has entered the room.
where were we? Anytime you
Um,
protect, you're playing defense. You're not growing. You're not, moving forward.
because I've had that done to me, right? And so my ego comes in. I notice when that happens to me,
Hmm.
or if somebody's just like, "You're just this way," and then you almost want to kind of go into that character, like, "Okay, yeah, that I am this way," and then my ego wants to be like, "Okay, then I don't even want to respond differently anymore."
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's like so irritating.
So you just want to like give them what they want, what
Mhm.
they're asking for. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So this is domestic violence. So let's talk about how that goes with us. But we deal with that. There's plenty of times where you do that, what you were mentioning with
Mhm.
me. Don't do something. I'm just like, why didn't you just tell me, or why didn't you just do this? Because then you just go like this, and this, right? Like you thought steps ahead.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna stop us from growing. I'm gonna limit us. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, give us that chance for a better communication, or give me a chance to like show something different.
Mhm.
You just get ahead of it. You have that with us. I do the same thing with you,
Mhm.
where I just go like, yeah, but you always do this and you always do that, and I don't give you that chance. All we're doing is we're just limiting us, right? And these are micro things, but as they develop over time, all of a sudden you realize you haven't grown. Still dealing with the same shit. And I know we want it fast, and we do grow pretty quickly. That's one thing that we do. We do grow pretty quickly, but we do experience some of the same issues. I want to get to the point where we're not really necessarily talking about them all the time, because the more that you talk about every little issue, the more that you're just in issues, you know? And I think that's a big part of it now that we're talking it out right now, is how we view the other person and not giving them a chance to just show something different and accept that. So if
Mhm.
you do something that causes an argument with us, let's say 10 times, right? And then one time you do it right, or not do it right, but you handle it in a way where I'm just like, it feels good to both of us. I don't need to keep pointing out the other 10 times. I'm like, well, you need to make up for 9 more times. It's just now moving forward. But the problem is that we have this thing in our head where it keeps score and it keeps us in that. Like, nah, you're probably going to do it again. Nope, you're just going to get angry. I don't give you that chance. But yeah, limiting other people as well as yourself, judgment, control, all that negative shit. And the fact that we're manifesting all the time, you know, it's common sense. That saying, it's common sense.
It's common sense.
Yeah. What is that? Who's common sense? Who decided that that was common sense? Decided that. Why is that? Why do people say that? So to me, it's a form of control. It's a form of control by saying like it's common sense to do this, right? It's basically saying like, if you don't do it like this, then you're wrong, right? I'm right. It's a way of controlling somebody's actions, and it's a way of controlling the way the world works, right? Different things mean different things to different people, right? It's just like you give somebody in Somalia a pair of brand new Jordans, right? Like retros, like just $2,000 pair, but they're struggling for food daily. That pair of shoes doesn't mean shit to them, you know. So it's all perspective, right? Or either that, or they get you know, a fucking cow quartered up, you know what I mean? Or choose that over the Jordans. Somebody else might be like, dude, common sense, take the Jordans, right? But that's common sense for somebody who lives in the Western world, right? Who is who's involved in Western culture, you know what I mean? The culture in America and stuff like that. Common sense is only common for you because it's your perspective on what you would do. But that person in Somalia who's starving and maybe has a family or something like that, they're going to take a big freaking slab of meat so they can feed their family. It's going to mean more to them than a pair of $2,000 Jordans. So when people say it's common sense, to me, that's another form of control. That what I mean by that is like you're going to say like, hey, you did this and you didn't do that. Common sense is you should have done that. No, that's common sense for you. You have no idea. I'm not saying you, but just like the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a form of judgment and control. I always look at cliches and when people say things, and I want to know why they're saying them. I want to know why I say it. Because my beliefs, most of them were not even mine my whole life. Most of them were handed down to me. Most of them were from my environment. They were instilled in me in the music that I listened to and the TV that I watched and the magazines that I read and the movies and my friends and my family, and all of that was essentially given to me, right? I took which ones I liked and be like, okay, that one feels good. That one feels good. Yeah, none of them were actually mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's different sayings, right? Like it's like, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Well, if you stand for something and you stop it right there, you'll never be able to see another perspective. You'll never be able to have another idea about that, and you're just limited. Okay, that one's checked off. Move along to the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sometimes I like taking stance.
Oh, you do like to take a stance. You want to take a stance on it's common sense. Let's do it.
What?
You want to take a stance on that?
I didn't say anything.
All right.
I just said that I like taking stances.
Sometimes. You do. You definitely do.
Sometimes I'm like, this makes sense.
It does. You got anything else?
Mm-mm.
No? You sure?
Listen.
I'm all ears, baby.
Listen, I'm not going to ever say much on here. You're going to hear me a few times.
Listen, we're in Cheeto costumes right now.
I'm just going to chime in every now and then on my opinions.
Look at this. Look at it. Like this is like the kids look at this and be like, yeah, those are my parents. These are I think that was just coming up a lot was just like control, judgment, the fact that we're always manifesting, you know. There's a lot of topics today. I don't know. It's just stuff that was
just kind of everywhere.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just saying.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know. But I know a lot of people can relate to it of just the struggles and the same situations that we have to deal with.
I think that's cool that it's everywhere because that's just the thoughts and feelings that are going around right now, and that's within us, and I think it's good for us to talk about it. So I don't know. It isn't this isn't like a structured where you're going to learn we're going to talk about this today and just that. It's just like really like it's life, man. Like we literally got done trick or treating right now, and we're like, let's record.
Mm-hmm.
Already dressed up. So
whoever needs to hear this, you're not crazy.
Yeah, exactly. This is a Halloween episode of the Domestic Vibrance Podcast. Like and subscribe, share, interact.
Ask questions.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.